Mr. Samdu Chetri, Dr. Samdu Chetri, Lama Samdu Chetri. I am a Bihari and I don't know how, like His Holiness the Dalai Lama, I will say His Holiness. But to you, you are.
I'm just a Samdu.
I don't know. I don't know how the Bhutanese would have addressed you, but I will call you sir. Anyway, welcome to Lakhisarai. You are on top of Lakhisarai. Now, please see that side. I think it's the wrong time to show you because it's misty a bit.
Right.
There is a hillock there.
Right.
That was where Padmasambhava and Mandarva practiced 3 months of longevity.
Right.
I will be showing you the place where they cooked their food and where Padmasambhava was used to sit because there is a lotus engraved on the rock. Yes. Now, that hillock there behind the railway bridge, that is your Zangdok Pelri. That is our Jaynagar pahari, mispronounced by Tibetans as Zangdok Pelri, with the Lotus Light Palace. That is Lali. The Lotus Light is Lali pahari. Yes, sir. And then that side, so please come forward. That side, behind this building,
Right.
behind is the railway line, and behind that is Sansar Pokhar, where they tried to burn Padmasambhava, and he was freed from samsara.
Right.
And that side, those trees you see over there,
Right.
in the distance, you know those palm trees. Those that is Balguddar, where he flew like a mighty youth, like a vulture out of the Ganges, and caused the river to flow northwards.
Northward.
So you,
Which is the fact now,
yes, sir.
as we see it.
Yes, sir. And those temples you see in the distance, that is Indradamneshwar. The king of these people have Lakhisarai have named it Indradamneshwar because Indradamneshwar was the king of Lakhisarai.
Right.
And the Tibetans say that Indrabhuti was the king of Zahor. Indrabhuti was the king of Zahor. Now Ashoka, according to his deeds, his name would change.
Right.
From Ashoka the kind, from Ashoka the cruel to Ashoka the kind. So basically all the kings had the same. Indrabhuti was defeated by the Muslims. He became Indradamneshwar. Daman means defeat. So,
Right. So names actually do change, with generations as it comes down, and people who write translate it differently and bring a new meaning to it.
yes, sir.
But I'm happy that I'm here in your land, in the land of Buddha, where Buddha was born, brought up, taught, where he was.
So that is Bodh Gaya and all. This is Padmasambhava territory,
yes, this
sir.
is Padmasambhava territory, definitely.
Yes.
But I'm talking about it's kind of beyond words to say that Bihar happens to be a place for Buddhists completely, whether it is Guru Padmasambhava, whether it's Buddha himself, Naropa, Tilopa, all the stories are flourishing here, and thank you for uncovering it.
So one grouse against the Tibetans and the Himalayan Buddhists. Would you listen to the grouse? My grouse. My area's grouse. The greatness of Bihar, the Tibetans, they try to put it in Swat Valley and other places without having any proof.
Right. I think those were indications,
No, I will be
proposed.
showing it. I am taking my CU key along.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
CU key, Yun Sang's book. I will be showing you where the Tibetans made that mistake
Right.
and which thing. And I'm taking Taranath's book along. So I'll be showing you that Dhanakosha isn't the only name.
Right.
Taranath calls it Dhanashri. And the place is called Dhanari. So Dhanashri is that Bengali translator.
Right.
A Lama and a Bengali translator, they got together and translated his book.
Right.
He was Lama of the Jonang sect. And he wrote this book and he calls it Dhanashri. That is a misunderstanding by the translator.
Translate.
Ki what is Dhanari? I think it is Dhanashri.
Right. Right.
So basically now Tibetans are holding on to the name Dhanakosha. And why it is called Dhanari and not Dhanakosha, that I will explain there also.
Thank you.
But the greatness of Bihar must not be thrown around to other places.
No.
The entire Buddhist story took place in Bihar and it disappeared in Bihar because the invaders,
Yes.
they concentrated in killing it.
Yes. True.
And that is why it disappeared and people are saying it is in this area and that area and they think that Bihar is a poor state, a useless state. No, it cannot be in Bihar. Thank you very much, sir. So you have all your sites
Yes.
around this
Yes. It
town.
would be lovely to touch those grounds where
Yes.
Guru himself has lived,
Yes.
And if I can bring his message to the world, I'd be so happy. And I'm really impressed with the work that you've done on the paper, where you have done measures and all that. Thank you for giving me the chance to pick them up on my camera, and I've taken them all.
Okay, you have that. That's why it was on your bed.
I have.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
Okay, now folks, see all these places are in your Guru Padmasambhava story. This is for Tibetans. See, this is Urain, your Odiyana or Urgain or Urain. That is Pokhrama, which means in the pond where they tried to burn Padmasambhava and he and Mandarva was seen sitting in a pond. Then there is Dhanori, that is your lake Dhanakosha. And then you have your Zahor or Sahur or this is Sahur. So you have Sahur. Now this is the country of Sahur. This is the country of Sahur. So the king's palace was Rampur. The ancient name was Ramvati. And next to his palace, according to Tibetan literature, the king made a palace for his daughter Mandarva. So this is Manu is short form for Mandarva. So this is in the country of Sahur, that is Rampur, that is the king's capital and his palace. And Manu is Mandarva's palace next to the king's palace. Then in just next to Sahur you have this hillock here with a beautiful cave in it, which is in Bichwe. Bichwe is your Mount Halesha, the cave in Mount Halesha. That is Halesha, it seems to be a Tibetan mispronunciation of Bichwe. And then you have Balguddar. Balguddar is the place where the Hindu king tried to drown the Padmasambhava in the Ganges. So basically Padmasambhava as a child he flew out of the water like a vulture, like a garur. So the Balguddar, Bal means child, Guddar is garur, the child that flew out of the water like a Garud or like a vulture. So you have all the sites, and then you have Shingri Rishi. Shingri Rishi he taught Padmasambhava teachings of Zong Pa Chen Po. Now I hope I got the pronunciation correct. So folks, you have all these spots within a span of 20 kilometers. Now let us concentrate on the three main ones, that is Urain, your Odiyana or Urgain. In the Padmasambhava hymn, it is pronounced Urgain. So that is a Tibetan mispronunciation of Urain. Then you have Dhanari, which is Lake Dhanakosha. And then you have the country of Sahur or Zahor. So folks, let's see what Wikipedia has to say about these three places. This is Wikipedia, that is Odiyana. Let's see the name. In the name section, Odiyana is Sanskrit. In Sanskrit is referred to by various names. Besides Odiyana, we also find mentions Odiyana, Udiyana, etc. Urgain. To Tibetans, this is important, to Tibetans it is known as Urgain or Urgain or Odiyana or Oyen or Oyen. See folks, the Tibetans are more accurate. Oyen is very similar to Urain, and Urgain is a direct Tibetan mispronunciation of Urain. Urgain, Urgain, these are all direct mispronunciations of Urain by Tibetans. Now this is Odiyana in Wikipedia. Now in Wikipedia, the 7-line prayer is very important. Urgain or Urgain. See, in the 7-line prayer of Padmasambhava revealed in Jigme Lingpa's Terma of Nangpo, etc., etc., King, and throughout the Lochen Nin something, Odiyana is rendered in the form of Urgain. So in the Padmasambhava prayer, in the 7-line prayer of Padmasambhava, Odiyana is rendered in the form of Urgain. So basically that is Tibetan mispronunciation of Urain, folks. I hope I am clear. Now, Gendun Chopel states that in Urgain or Urain, he saw a footmark of the Buddha. Well, folks, I also saw the footmark of the Buddha, but I did not videograph it because this area is dicey, it is quite lawless. Anyway, I went and videographed the village. So, check out the video, folks. That's your Urgain or Odiyana or whatever you may call it. Dr. Samdu Chetri, you have reached Urgain, Urain, of the 7-line prayer.
Great.
What do you call it? I don't know the words. See, this is Urain station, and we are going towards Urain village. Urgain of the 7-line prayer. According to Wikipedia, Lake Dhanakosha was northwest of Urgain. So Urgain has to be southeast of Lake Dhanakosha, and this is southeast of Dhanari Lake or Lake Dhanakosha. So we are approaching Urain. It's on a hillock, sort of. Actually, it's not a hillock. It was a city with multi-storied buildings. And with multi-storied buildings and what do you call it? the Muslims seems to have covered it up with mud, and people have settled down on it, so it's like a Pompeii. It's like a Pompeii. So we are approaching Urgain of the Tibet. Okay, sir. Dr. Samdu Chetri, welcome to Urain, your Urgain of the 7-line prayer.
Right.
If you see Wikipedia, it is not Odiyana. Wikipedia says that the Tibet people tried to remove the name Urgain and replace it with Odiyana. But what do you call it? Please, जरा सा दूरी कोरोना का युग है. हाँ, बाद में बता देंगे आपको. And basically, see, you speak about your Padmasambhavas 9-tufted palace. You saw how high this village, the mud mounds, this village is a sort of a Pompeii, an entire city is below the village.
Right.
And Mr. Mishra from the ASI, he told me that when they dug down from the highest point, it was around 62 feet. Now, if you have one story at 7 feet, so 62, 9, 6 are 54, 9 7s are 63. So that is, jara sa alag. 9 7s are 63. That means that is 9 stories.
Right.
So the mud mound is this place is around 63 feet above ground level. So, sir, this is your Urgain, Padmasambhavas Urgain of the 7-line prayer.
Right. Wow.
If I was you, I would have kissed the ground, sir.
Well, I'm kissing.
You
I don't have to physically do.
And see, these are Padmasambhava's countrymen.
Yes.
Govind Baba, Guru Rinpoche, Jakhraj Baba, whoever you call him. They are his countrymen. And कुछ दिन पहले कुछ सिक्किम से भी लोग सब आए हले. I am in your Urgain of the 7-line prayer to Padmasambhava. And we are going towards the Buddha footmark. Basically, Lotsawa Gyatso and Kunga Zangpo, they saw the Buddha's footmark in Urgain of the 7-line prayer to Padmasambhava. Folks, it's a beautiful place, and according to Tibetan scriptures, the Buddha washed his clothes, he dried his clothes here. See, look at this. See. This is part of a sculpture. The rocks. Ego stupa bhi hale. Here. Isn't it a perfect place to dry clothes? Tibetan scriptures say that there was flat rock for the Buddha to dry his clothes. See the flat rocks. Flat rocks. Flat rocks. ये क्या? And here is the Buddha's. आप छाई हटाइए. The Buddha's footmark. You can see the footprints. This is the that is the toe area and the fingers. And this is the heel area. And so your Odiyana or Urgain, the Tibetans insist it is Urgain in the 7-line prayer, had to have a Buddha footmark. So folks, this is the Buddha's footmark in Urgain. Here it is. You have the heel, the toe mark. See, the footmark is over there. The footmark is over there. And see, these are stupas engraved on it, on the rock. This is a stupa engraved on the rock. This is in Urain, your Urgain of the 7-line Tibetan prayer to Padmasambhava. Thank you for sending Padmasambhava of Urgain. कहाँ है? See, these are all carvings of stupas. And something is written over there. Stupa is on top. On top. See. Here is a carving of the stupa. Ancient carvings. There. They look Tibetan, folks. They look Tibetan. This is in Urain. Urgain, the village is there. And look. See, there are multiple carvings. And there is one of a Buddha, I think it's Buddha. Sitting in meditation. There is, this is a chakra on a pivot. This looks like the 5-petaled hat, folks. This could be. See, on top of these rocks is a stupa. Now, whose stupa can it be, folks? For that, you'll have to read Tibetan texts very thoroughly to know whose stupa is on top of these rocks. See, that is the village of Urain or Urgain, and northwest of that is Dhanari with the island in between, which had a what do you call it, chaitya called Dhanakosha, and southeast of that is Urain. Southeast of Lake Dhanakosha is Urain. This is Urain, and these are the flat rocks on which the Buddha would wash his clothes, and you saw his footmark. And folks, here is a stupa on top of the rocks. We are on top of the stupa. And there, the Buddha's footmark is over there. And the Buddha would dry his clothes on flat rock. So folks, this is your Urgain, Padmasambhavas territory. You have now seen Urain, mispronounced by Tibetans as Urgain or Urgan. Just west of it, slightly northwest of it, actually the name is up here but the village is down here. Northwest of it is Lake Dhanakosha. The name is here, the village is up here. The lake is here. Lake Dhanakosha. So let's see what Rigpa Wiki has to say about Dhanakosha. Now this is Rigpa Wiki of Padmasambhava. Let's see his birth. The birth, okay. The birth, what does it state? In the northwestern part of the land of Odiyana, in the northwestern part of the land of Urgain or Urain, on an island in the lake of Dhanakosha, the blessings of the Buddhas took shape in the form of a multicolored lotus flower. So folks, it is northwestern part of Urain. Now let's check out the satellite picture. Now that see, Urain is here, it is written here, the village is here, and Dhanakosha Lake is here. So you just read it was on the northwestern part of Odiyana or Urgain or Urain. So folks, that is it. Dhanari is your lake, Dhanakosha. Let's see, have a close up of the lake. See, it has, see here it is written Dhanari, but the lake is here, folks. This is the lake and this is the island in the lake. This is the lake and this is the island in the lake. So this is your lake Dhanakosha, which is now called Dhanari, and I will tell you why it isn't called Dhanakosha and why it is called Dhanari. Now next to Lake Dhanakosha, that is Dhanari, is the country of Zahor, that is Sahur up here, folks. Next to Dhanari or Lake Dhanakosha is the country of Zahor, that is Sahur up here. Now let's see what Wikipedia has to say about it. This is Wikipedia. Wikipedia says that Zahor was the birthplace of Shanta, Rakshita, Atisha and Tilopa. Now let's see in the name section. In the name section, this is very interesting. Gendun Chopel suggests that Zahor may have been a deviation of Sahora. Thus he suggests that the ancient city or kingdom in Sanskrit was known as Sahora. That is my Sahur, folks. That is my Sahur. Your Sahora is my Sahur. Now let's see the location section of Zahor. Zahor in Himachal Pradesh. Now see, in Pema Kathang and other life stories give a more fluid picture of places and their location. Thus Zahor and Odiyana are presented as either the same place or closely neighboring regions. They are closely neighboring regions, folks. Remember that. It states on the northwest frontiers of the land of Odiyana in the center of the capital of Zahor. On the northwest frontier of the land of Odiyana in the center of the capital of Zahor. Now this is very interesting. This is exactly what I have showed you in the satellite picture. See, this is the country of Urain. This is the country of Urain or Urgain or Odiyana, and this is the country of Sahur, and the capital is on the northwest. See, this is Urain, and northwest of it is the capital, that is Rampur, which was previously called Ramvati, and that is Manu, that is Mandarva's palace. So this was the capital of the country of Sahur or Zahor or my Sahur. You have, sir, you have got Guru Rinpoche's territory behind you. Just look behind you.
Right.
Look behind you, sir. That village to the right That village to the right, that in the distance there.
Mm-hmm.
That is Sahur,
Sahur, okay.
your Zahor. And this is Singarpur, Singh Ka Chighar, the lion's roar. And that is a Dakini temple over there.
This one?
Yes. Dakini temple. If you want to see it, you have heard a lot about Mandarva.
Yes.
Most probably the villagers are her children.
Possible, yes.
And then that is Mano in the distance. That is Rampur in the distance. That was the capital of Zahor. That is the palace.
Yes.
And next to it is Mano, Mandarva's palace. And just behind that is Lake Dhanakosha.
Okay.
And just behind that is Urgain.
Oh, wow. So that makes sense because everything is connected.
Yes, sir.
That makes sense. Everything is connected.
Yes.
Because otherwise it would be like if it is spread around so vast in those days, ancient days. I mean, you can imagine the transportation, the walking distance and all that would matter. But here, everything is in vicinity, everything, all that is written is in the vicinity.
Yes.
So what more proof do we need that Guru Rinpoche wasn't from here?
Yes, sir. So this is Guru Rinpoche territory. All the people up here, all the villages don't have Rama temples, don't have Krishna temples, but they have their old ancient Padmasambhava ones. Whether it's Jakraj Baba, it's Govind Baba, or it's Dakini Mama, that is Indian Buddhism, which you have to have an eye to search that out.
Yes, to decode it.
Yes, sir.
Great, thank you.
बोलिए. Okay, folks. आपका नाम?
मेरा नाम सुरेश प्रसाद सिंह है.
He is Suresh Prasad Singh of Sahur village. He is an elder of this village. And you can see the other people. इनका सबके ले सके ये. You can see the other people. They are all sitting on top of this well. And they are wondering why I have come here. And basically I am telling them the story of Padmasambhava, Guru Rinpoche and Mandarva. So here he is, ki naam hole?
सुरेश प्रसाद.
Mr. Suresh Prasad Singh, he has something to say to the people of Tibet and Bhutan. क्या बोलना है? बोलिए.
आप आइए यहाँ, ये सहूर गांव है और आप यहाँ आइए, आपका स्वागत हम लोग करने के लिए तैयार हैं.
Now for those who don't understand, he has invited you and they will be very glad that you all come and see their village, because basically you all have the people of Bhutan and Tibet have maintained the history of this village. Thank you. Pranam. So this is Sahur. This is where I just videographed Sahur, where that old gentleman invited Tibetans. Now proof of Sahur is that the daughter of the king of Zahor was a Dakini, so there should be a Dakini temple. This is Singarpur, just next to this hillock up here. This is Bichwe hillock, and this is Singarpur, which is one of Padmasambhava's manifestations, the lion's roar. Singh ka chighar, Singarpur, the lion's roar. And up here there is a Dakini temple. See, proof of Sahur is there should be a Dakini temple in the vicinity, because Mandarva was a Dakini. So folks, here is the Dakini temple. It is Mama Ji Mandir. Mama is grandmother. So basically Mandarva was the daughter of the king of Sahur. So she was the grandmother. These people are her descendants. These people are her descendants. So Mama Ji means grandmother. So, and this is a Dakini temple. So the Dakini temple of Mama Ji is proof that Sahur is the Zahor or Sahur the Tibetans are looking for. Because Zahor or Sahur should have a Dakini temple Mandarva should be prayed to, folks. And this is the temple. Check it out. Okay, sir. Welcome to Dakini Mama's temple in Zahor, your Zahor, our Sahur. And ये आयो केवाड़ी खुल सका है सही they are opening the door. तनी बत्ती उती नहीं भीतर में
लाइनें कट्टा लगा सेंजर गिरा सकती है
Please come in. भक्ता तो होलो
नहीं
हाँ हाँ हाँ
हम तो अभी ड्यूटी से आइए रहते लखीसराय से सर्विस सेंटर में हमने नहीं ये नहीं छोड़ा
अच्छा
वीवो बोला तो हम तो अभी आइए रह लिए हैं
अच्छा ये बहुत बड़ा मंदिर है बहुत बड़ा चीज के मंदिर है
हम तो बोलते ही छोड़ रुपया दिया था एक बार
हाँ अरे सुनो हम सबके लो सर के लो sir this is
साफ नहीं आवन
this is Dakini Mama's what do you call it whom you all say Rani Mandarva. Up here the people don't know that she was the daughter of the King of Zahors. But you all say, and see, this is how she is prayed to. Because she was burnt.
Right.
She was burnt. And that is how they pray to her in my village also, Brahmdevti Mai. And the bhakta comes here and he lights the fire and he puts ghee, so that the fire, yes. And so, this is your Sahur, proof of your Sahur, the Lion's Raw Singharpur. And then you see, notice anything up here, any what do you call it, statue or anything? No, that is the real Buddhism.
Buddhism never.
He forbade statues.
Right, true.
Now that you have seen Urain, what do you call it? Yun Sang, right? No, what do you call it? The Tibetans say northwest is the Dhanakosha Lake. See, this is the northwest is the Dhanakosha Lake. Now, why isn't it called Dhanakosha? Why is it called Dhanari? Why is this called Dhanari? Let's look up Wikipedia. This is again Padmasambhava Rikva Wiki. Now let's see the birth section, folks. In the northwestern part of the land of Odiyana, on the island in the lake of Dhanakosha, the blessings of the Buddhas took shape in the form of a multicolored lotus flower moved by compassion in the suffering of sentient beings. The Buddha Amitabha sent out from his heart a golden vajra marked with the syllable HRIH, which descended onto the lotus blossom. Now this marked with the syllable HRIH, this is Ri. If you pronounce it HRIH, is pronounced as Ri. So in Lake Dhanakosha, remove the kosha and add HRIH, it becomes Dhanari. See, remove the KOSHA and add the HRIH, it becomes Dhanari. So folks, now you will understand why the lake isn't called Dhanakosha, it is called Dhanari. So now you understand, folks, why this isn't called Dhanakosha, it is called Dhanari. This is Ri, is that sounding of HRIH, the last four syllables given by Amitabha through a vajra. So folks, check out the video of the lake. Now we go back to the birth section. We see part of the land of Odiyana on an island in the lake. See, now there is supposed to be an island in the lake of Dhanakosha. There is supposed to be an island in the lake of, see, he mentions the island twice. Now see in the birth section, in the marriage and exile section. Here he says, returning to the island in Lake Dhanakosha. See, in the marriage and exile section, returning to the island in Lake Dhanakosha. So Lake Dhanakosha has to have an island, folks. Understand? So check out the island. Now this is a satellite picture of the lake. See, this is the railway line here. The lake goes from the railway line, all this, it's around 17 acres. The lake is around 17 acres. It is 1,000 feet long and 600 feet broad. And see, the island is clearly in the middle here. The island is clearly in the middle here. So this is authentic. Your revulsor and all don't have an island, and this lake fits in to Padmasambhava's story accurately. Check out the video. Okay, now folks, Mr. Brij Mehrotra, he is a Buddhist and he is a follower of Padmasambhava, and I have brought him to your lake Dhanakosha. Now, folks, that is the island in the middle of Lake Dhanakosha, in front of you. Now, why is it called Dhanari and not Dhanakosha? Because when the Buddha Amitabha he saw the problems humans were facing, the 4 letters came out of his mouth, H-R-I-H, and it fell like a vajra on that island. H-R-I-H fell like a vajra on that island. So if you remove kosha from Dhanakosha and add H-R-I-H, it becomes Dhanari. It becomes Dhanari, folks. This is Dhanari, and that is the island to which your Padmasambhava would always return. हाँ दिखाई दे लो तनी इन्हें देखा पुलवा दिखाई दो हाँ you see people have mud filled so that there is a road to that island and there is a bridge over there. पुलवा दिखाई दो दिखा दो हाँ उन्हें दिखाई दो हम बोले folks, there is a bridge over there and what do you call it, they have mud filled the road to the island. Thank you. चालू है. Okay, folks. Dr. Samdu Chetri, welcome to Lake Dhanakosha. Lake Dhanakosha. See, the Tibetans, they have several, several Tibetan historians have several names. Some call it Lake Dhanakosha, some call it Dhanasri, some call it some other name. Now, what do you call it? This is Taranath. Taranath was a Tibetan called Kunga Zangpo. Kunga Zangpo, he was of the Jonang school. And he came here and he does not call the lake Dhanakosha, he calls it Dhanasri. See, up here, दिख रहा है, he calls it Dhanasri. There was he started with the road guide on his way to Potala. He reached the Sri Dhanya Kataka Chaitya in the island. That means that island had a Chaitya, Dhanya Kataka Chaitya on the island of Dhanasri. So folks, it is not Dhanakosha. Some Tibetans call it Dhanakosha, some call it Dhanasri, some call it, and somehow they have this Swat Valley, Taranath. Kunga Zangpo, he says it's in Bihar, up here. Potalaka is also up here. So folks, sir, welcome to Dhanasri.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
See, there's another theory. According to Buddhists, Tibetan Buddhists, when the Buddha Amitabh, he saw the problem of sentient beings, the 4 letters came out of his mouth, H-R-I-H, Ri, and it fell like a vajra on that island. Dekhabo. On that island, on Lake Dhanakosha or Dhanasri, which Kunga Zangpo says. And an 8-year-old child was born on a lotus flower. That was Padmasambhava. And Taranath, Kunga Zangpo, was born on the same day that Padmasambhava was born. So folks, this is no ordinary man. He wrote this wonderful book, History of Buddhism in India, which was translated by Lama Chimpa and Alka Chattopadhyay. So that is your lake. That is the island. They have made, see, a bridge towards that island. And this is your holy spot.
And also, don't go back there.
Yes, yes. And also,
they have blocked, actually, they put a lot of mud on it.
no, that is
Blocking the,
no, to make the entrance
Yes,
to
yes.
the island.
yeah, so they have blocked the island and the lake actually goes around the island.
Yes, the lake is
And all
around.
that you see grass like is Asian, totally,
Yes, and
covering
here's
the-
the water.
you can see the water there.
And so, folks,
This is where Guru Padmasambhava was born. But look at the condition today. I'm sure if all the Buddhists in the world would be interested, we can resettle these people and create something for the rest of the Buddhist world. Thank you, sir, for bringing me here. I'm really grateful.
can you say something, some hymn of Padmasambhava? We will say it on the island.
Well, I don't know.
Okay. Thank you. After his birth in Dhanari, the king of Urain went on a voyage to the lake, and he saw this 8-year-old child preaching the scriptures. So he was surprised at his knowledge, and he adopted him and brought him here. Naturally, the people of Urain or Urgain or Odiyana, they did not appreciate it. And while Padmasambhava was playing a game, he threw his trishul and by mistake murdered a minister's child, for which his father had to banish him to Sheetal Van, which was the most scary charnel ground of that era. See up here, this is Kajara. Sheetal, it's not called Sheetal Van, it is called Sheetala Sthan. Up here, Sheetala Sthan, and it is still charnel ground. Not today, the elders, they go to to burn dead bodies in the Ganges. But up here they cremate children. So this is Sheetala Sthan is up here. It is a small forgotten place. It's a charnel ground. No one visits it, and people avoid it. So that's why they haven't given the name. Anyway, the charnel ground. And then after this, king was destroying statues. So that is the king was destroying statues. Now let's see what Padmasambhava does to that king who was destroying statues. After defeating various anti-Buddhist rulers, Guru Rinpoche was poisoned but remained unharmed. and he was thrown in the Ganges but made the river flow upstream. Now you must remember this. He was thrown in the Ganges but made the river flow upstream and danced in the air, therefore earning the name of Q Khanding Sal, mighty youth soaring in the sky like a Garud. He was called mighty youth soaring in the sky like a Garud. So he sort of became a vulture, and he flew into the air. See, this king did not know that Padmasambhava had done Siddhi in 8 charnel grounds and he had powers. So he tried to drown him in the Ganges, but Padmasambhava was thrown in the Ganges but made the river flow upstream. This is very important because I am going to show you the place where it flowed upstream, and danced in the air, and therefore earning the name of Q Khanding Sal, mighty youth soaring in the sky like a Garuda. So that is Balguddar village. Bal means youth and Guddar is Garuda. Bal means youth and Guddar is Garuda. Check out the satellite picture. This was in Balguddar. Now Balguddar, a Hindu king, was breaking statues, Buddhist statues, and Padmasambhava as a child went to stop him. So what that king did was, he tried to drown him in the Ganges, but Padmasambhava flew out of the river like a vulture, like a vulture. He flew out like a child, like a vulture. So that is exactly what Balguddar means. Balguddar means child, vulture. So Bal means child and Guddar is vulture. So this is the stupa, and the Tibetan folklore says that Padmasambhava caused the river to flow, the Ganges to flow north. See, up here is the Har river. It has, right in front of the stupa, it has swung and gone up northwest. That is the Har river, and the Ganges, you see, it has, see the old riverbed, the ancient riverbed of the Ganges, it has swung around here and gone north. This is the unique thing about this story. See, I will do a close-up. And here it is. See, it's up here, and this is it. See, it has swung up. This is the old Ganges. You see, the old Ganges. See, it is moving up. Can you see it? This is the unique thing about this story. So you have two rivers up here. One is the Har river swinging up, and you have the old Ganges swimming up, and you have the ancient here, the ancient riverbed. See, here, it has turned and moved up. Where it is written Samandi, see, it has turned and moved up. So this is the ancient riverbed, and the village name is Balguddar, which is Balgarur. Folks, check out the video. In fact, Alexander Cunningham also, I read his report out that Cunningham does a survey of Balguddar and see what he found. This is he found a figure. He numbers it as B2. Now I have to search for this figure. It is very important. B2 has a human-headed bird in a semicircle. A human-headed bird in a semicircle. Alexander Cunningham hadn't read the Tibetan scriptures, or he would have known it was Padmasambhava who flew out as a child. Who was a child who flew out of the Ganges like a vulture. So B2 has a human-headed bird in a semicircle, and beneath this a group of Shiva and Parvati seated on rocks. So basically, it's Shiva and Parvati. It was a Hindu king who tried to kill, Padmasambhava, drown him in the Ganges, and he flew out like a vulture. So Cunningham found a figure of a human-headed bird in a semicircle, and beneath this is a group of Shiva and Parvati seated on rocks, with the four-armed Bhairav standing in front. So folks, it is very important to search for this figure. I think it is in Calcutta Museum. Dr. Lama Samdhu Chetri here. He has come to see the place where the Hindu king tried to drown Padmasambhava in the Ganges, and he flew out of the water like a mighty vulture. Now, abo. That is the village of Balguddar. Balguddar means child like a vulture. The village is on the stupa, and that is the spot where the Padmasambhava, that is the spot where Padmasambhava flew out of the river like a vulture. And he turned the Ganges towards the north. मरगन भी है बगल में, उत्तर की तरफ मुड़ल है, उत्तर की तरफ चल रहा है. The Ganges was, pardon?
Confirmed.
It is confirmed. They call it Parsa Ghat. Confirmed. और the Harohar नदी भी मुड़ गई उत्तर के तरफ. Harohar river, also two rivers have turned towards the north, and the stupa is in the middle. The stupa is on the village is on that stupa. And this is the sanghramma. This is the sanghramma, and एकरा तनी दिखाई दो कितने ऊंचा है रोड से. This is the sanghramma, and थोड़ा सा जो बताओ.
But they don't know what sanghramma is. Can you explain what sanghramma is?
So that you explain.
No, please, you do it. It's your bhumi, so you do it.
The sanghramma is actually sanghramma is a place, a hall where monks. The stupa is there under the village. That is a place to pray. People have to pray there. But where will the monks stay? The monks cannot stay on the stupa. That is holy, that is hallowed. The monks have to stay there somewhere, and that is a sanghramma. They will stay, and this is the sanghramma where the monks stayed, and any pilgrim wanting to visit that place stayed here.
Sanghramma. Sang means together.
Yes, sanghramma.
So a place where they live together.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, here we are in Lakhisarai. This is Lakhisarai town. This is the district town. Here is your Urain, which you have mispronounced as Urgain, and here is Dhanari, which you have you named Dhanakosha. And folks, here is your Balguddar. Balguddar means child. Bal means child, and Guddar means like a vulture. Gidh is a vulture. So Guddar is your Bihari word for Garud. Bal Garud. Balguddar. So this is the place where, Padmasambhava flew out of the Ganges like a vulture when the people tried to drown him. So folks, I will do a close-up of this. Just now you saw me speaking with Dr. Sandhu Chetri up here. We were standing on this sanghramma up here. And the stupa is there. You see, it's a nice circular stupa. See, you can see it's a proper circular stupa. This is your Balguddar stupa, where the Ganges, you can see, here is the riverbed. It has turned, the ancient riverbed. See here. You see both these lines. This is the Ganges turning north. This is the ancient riverbed turning north. And this is the stupa where he flew out of the water like a vulture and got the name child like the mighty vulture Balguddar or Balgarur. And they pray up here. There is a mosque to Budhan Baba. Budhan sounds similar to Urain. Urain means to fly. And Malangsa Baba. Malangsa means, Malang means what you call it, Gangetic tidal waves, Gangetic winds, Gangetic storm. And this Malangsa word is used, most Biharis don't know the meaning of Malangsa. It is used by people who live on the banks of the Ganges, and it is a Gangetic word, Malangsa. So Malangsa Baba, these are Padmasambhavas, manifestations, but just now they are Peer Babas prayed to by Muslims. And this entire stupa is a Muslim graveyard, folks. This is very unfortunate. Anyway, check out the video. Now, Tibetans say about the Ganges, turning north, but a second river turns north. And I will show you that later. Sir, please come to the spot now. See, look at that. This is the stupa where he turned the river towards the north. It has become a graveyard for the Muslims. And we are going down to the riverbed where the river has turned to the north. Please walk in front because I am videographing you. Dr. Sandhu Chetri is going to the spot where Padmasambhava turned the river to the north.
Now it is of course dry.
And it is, sir, see the ground. It's all full of filth. Sir, it's all shitty. They defecate here. Folks, we have come down to the ancient riverbed. And this is the ancient river banks of the Ganges. And this is the spot.
And now we can see the stupa higher even.
Yes, and this is the stupa. And it's you can make it out, it's a circular stupa.
Yes, it is a circular stupa. And the story of the Muslims here is also very close to that winning about...
That black stone is Buddhist stone.
Yes, that's true. And also they talk about, that their Baba came and kind of subdued
all the witches and devils, etc.
That resounds so much with what Guru Rinpoche did.
And Burhan means to fly up.
Yes. So they call it Budhan Baba, but I think from Urain it became Budhan.
Yes, thank you very much. So here you are, and sir, it's all full of crap, shit.
नदी जाता है, नदी है यहाँ पर सर। नदी चिमनी के करीब है। चिमनी जो है ना, चिमनी करीब है।
See, the river has turned up here, and this is the stupa. This is the stupa where he caused the river to turn, which has now become a Muslim graveyard, and you have Budhan Baba which Dr. Samdu Chetri has just explained. Thank you. After this episode of fighting the Hindu king, Padmasambhava went to various sanghrammas for further studies, and one of them was Gadwa, folks. One of them was Gadwa, which the historians are searching for Gauda, as the historians are searching for Sahur and Odiyana and Dhanakosha. They are searching for Gauda. Actually, this is Gadwa. Basically, the people of Zahor migrated from Gadwa, and they say what Padmasambhava up here is known as Govind Baba, and Mandarva is known as Mama Mai. So the people of Rampur and Mano is Mandarva. They say that Govind Baba and Mama Mai came from Gadwa. And Hyun Sang had come here, and Hyun Sang had said that there was a sanghramma here for 50 bhikshus and bhikshunis, where the Buddha had preached for 7 days for the sake of Brahmadevas, for the sake of Brahmadevas. And in this area, Padmasambhava and Mandarva are known as Brahmadevti and Brahmadevta. So Brahmadeva and Brahmadevti are, according to Hyun Sang, the Buddha preached up here for the sake of Brahmadevas. So Padmasambhava must have got his education here, and this is where he met Mandarva, which is why people of Rampur say Mama Mai and Govind Baba come from Gadwa. So folks, check out the video. Okay folks, now we are in Rampur village. This is, see, the board is over there, Govind Baba Sthan. The temple is there. See, and we are on a stupa. The stupa goes up there, and the stupa goes up there. So this entire village is on top of a stupa, and these are villages. I am a Bhardwaji, and they all are आप लोग सब Bhardwaji हैं? जी. They all are Bhardwajis like me, and we all pray to Govind Baba, to whom the Tibetans pray to as Padmasambhava. Thank you. Now let's go back to the country of Zahor. The king of Zahor, that is, the king's palace is this, Rampur up here. The king of Zahor made a palace just next to his palace for his daughter Mandarva. This is the short form of Mandarva, Mano. So this is her palace. Check out the video, folks. Check out. Okay, sir. Welcome. I am welcoming Dr. Lama Samdu Chetri to Mano village. It is just around, Rampur se kitna दूर होता है? 1,000 गज होता है दूरी. It's around 1,000 meters away from Rampur, which was the palace area of the king of Zahor. So, according to Tibetan texts, just next to his palace, the king made a palace for Mandarva, his daughter. Now, just next to Rampur, 1,000 meters east of Rampur, is Mano. Mano seems to be a short form, like if a girl's name was Mandarva, the parents would call her in short form Mano, Manua, Mano. So this is Mano. This is the palace. You see, we are on high ground. This is D, and that is Tola. Now D means the house area, the palace area. So folks, this is what you call it, Mandarva's palace, and there's a unique story to this. half of the village is Bhardwaj Brahmins, which is what you call it Rampur, and half is Gautam Goth. Gautam is Gautam Buddhas. Now what happens is the when the Brahmins came here to settle, the story the Brahmins told me, when they came here to settle, Yadavs did not allow them. So from Sima village, which is a Gautam village, he brought Gautam Bhumiyar and they fought a battle. सब गौतम गोत्र सीमा से नहीं आई नहीं सीमा नहीं रामदीरी से हम लोग हैं वही गौतम गोत्र रामदीरी से they came from Ramdiri and they fought a battle and they won over the Yadavs and they settled down here. ये बात कहानी है ना. So basically this is I'm going to have a meeting with them. This is a pure sign of a war between Hindus and Muslims. Understand? Why will Yadav stop the Brahmin from coming and settling? And the Brahmin had to go to Ramdiri, that is opposite the Ganges, that side, and bring an army of, and unfortunately that army was Gautam Goth. Understand? The children. Yes. And what do you call it? So this is Mandarva's palace, sir. The Tibetans were looking for it. Here it is. See, the ground has risen that side. Where that lady is sitting. The ground has risen that side. That is D. That is the palace area. But
we don't have the palace to show, but we can only show the places.
Yes, and the names.
And the names,
Yes.
definitely. And the story about from Rampur, 500 people being sent with,
Yes, you're brilliant.
He is one of them.
Gautam Gotriye ki Bhardwaj. So you have Sahur there, which I showed you, and Rampur, which was the capital of Zahor, Sahur, which I have just showed you the video. Now next to the capital, next to the royal palace of the King of Zahor, he had made a palace for his daughter, Mandarva. And one day the king went to visit her, and he heard a male voice coming out from her palace. So he bulldozed, he crashed through the door, and he entered her quarters, and he saw Padmasambhava and her chatting. So he decided his daughter was going out of control. She was going to disgrace the family. So he arrested both of them and then took them to two hillocks up here. These two hillocks, which the Tibetans call Zangdok Pelri. This is Jaynagar pahari, which Tibetans call Zangdok Pelri. See, here are the two hillocks. I will give a close-up. This is a close-up of the two hillocks. See, up here you have Lali Pahari, and this is Kali Pahari, the black hillock. See, the black hillock also features in Buddhist scriptures where the black-robed monk used to stay. And this is Lali Pahari, or the hillock which looks reddish. And the Tibetans call it the copper-colored mountain. The copper-colored mountain. And this village in between, that is Jaynagar, which the Tibetans call Zangdok Pelri. Now Zangdok Pelri is a direct mispronunciation of Jaynagar Pahari. Jai Zang. This is Jaynagar Zangdok Jaynagar do. Do means two. Pelri is pahari. So Jaynagar do, Zangdok Pelri is Jaynagar do pahari. This is the black mountain and this is the what do you call it, copper colored mountain or the reddish mountain. See, it is Lali pahari. Lali means reddish. And on top up here there is a what do you call it, a structure has been excavated which is exactly like the Lotus Light Palace. It is exactly like the Lotus Light Palace. And what do you call it? And Lali means the lotus light. Lali means the lotus light because lotus is pink. Lotus is pink and there is no, what do you call it, word for the pink color in Hindi. It is Lali. Pink means like red. So the lotus light, when do you get the lotus light, the pink light? That is the morning's Lali. Lali Pahari is the Lotus Light Palace, folks. And this is Jaynagar Pahari, Zangdok Pelri, and what do you call it? This is Mandarva was incarcerated, I am sure, in the palace up here, in the Lotus Light Palace. Previously it belonged to the King of Zahors. And after he tried to burn Padmasambhava, what do you call it, the king was surprised when he came out alive and sitting on a lotus flower. So he gave him his entire property. So this, what do you call it, palace went into as Padmasambhava's property. This is your Lotus Light Palace where Rani Mandarva was incarcerated. And what do you call it? Padmasambhava was incarcerated up here on the Black Mountain. They were incarcerated just opposite each other. Check out the videos. So welcome to your Zangdok Pelri. This is our Jaynagar Pahari. Your Zangdok Pelri, the copper colored mountain is just behind you.
Thank you so much for bringing
The
me
steps
here.
going up, and that's the Black Mountain, Kali Pahari.
That looks exactly like what is in the Thankas.
Yes, sir. I brought the painting along. I will show it to you up there when it's more clearer. So, sir, this is Jaynagar, and that you see that peak over there.
Yes.
Over there, just behind that peak, is a dungeon.
Where Padmasambhava was.
What did you say, sir?
Where Padmasambhava was in exile.
Yes, he was.
That's the place, right?
Yes. So, and Mandarva was incarcerated here in the Lotus Light Palace.
Later, of course, it became his. It was given to him.
Yes. Okay, now, sir, you are standing on the side of Zangdok Pelri with the Thanka painting in front of you.
Right.
And you see, that is the black hillock which has been depicted here. Now you see why this black hillock has been depicted like
Flowers.
like clouds.
Oh, you mean.
See the jagged rocks, they look like clouds.
Right.
The jagged rocks, they have been depicted as clouds.
Right.
And exactly on the top you see a male, person.
Right.
And exactly on the top, on that peak, Padmasambhava was incarcerated.
Right.
So I wonder if the painter depicted Padmasambhava in his incarceration.
could be possible because he's sitting on a vajra,
Yes.
on a tiger, you know.
Ah.
It's very visible.
Oh, the tiger is visible.
Yeah, tiger is visible.
Yes.
There is vajra here.
Yes. And this is the copper colored one. And you can see up here it has narrowed down. The two hillocks have narrowed down, and up here they have broadened, they have gone away from each other. And you see the same thing up here, this area it has narrowed down.
Yes.
And see, and that area it has broadened.
Flattened.
Broadened. They have moved away from each other, both the hillocks. So you will have to thank and congratulate the Thangka painter. And that is Kyul river. In the background, you see the river has turned here. And exactly behind this thing, the river turns, and there you can see the railway bridge in the distance.
Right.
The river has turned here and it has gone behind the Black Mountain.
True.
And see, the river has turned and gone towards the railway bridge behind the Black Mountain. And this is the copper colored one.
Copper color.
Yes.
Great. I mean, that's, I don't know, more than enough evidence actually to prove that Padmasambhava was born here, brought up here, he had all the travels here, and he won the hearts of all the kings of kings then to become the super hero king, if we can call it in modern
Sir, but
language.
after all this proof, if the Rinpoches still claim that no, the story took place in Swat Valley, then
I think it's to do with the kind of investment everyone has made and the interest that everyone has.
Yes.
But the truth, like Buddha said, I keep on repeating, truth, three things can't be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. Truth has been unrevealed.
yes,
I mean, who can challenge this proofs? No one can challenge.
yes,
Of course, maybe in the history it might become very difficult, time consuming to switch over. But the truth has been unrevealed, and I think all Buddhists who believe in Guru Rinpoche must visit this place, verify themselves. That's what Buddha also said. That's what Guru Rinpoche says. You debate, discuss until it rests in your deep core of your wisdom and heart. Unless you believe that, unless that happens to you, don't believe anybody. So my request to all the Buddhists out there is come yourself. Verify yourself and see if you prove that it is wrong. Well, then I have nothing to say, but I can promise you, you will not be able to prove wrong. This is my last word.
Thank you, sir, and thank you from the people of Lakhisarai.
Thank you so much. I mean, I'm grateful to people of Lakhisarai.
Give us our story back.
Yes, the story should go back to you because that's the right place.
Yes.
That's the right place.
Thank you. See now, folks, the government of Bihar, it has all become jungle, and here you have Dr. Samdu Chetri photographing the bastion. My previous video, the bastion was clean. You could see the walls, but now it's full of jungle. This is thanks to Bihar government. Okay folks, now this is the first viewing of the Lotus Light Temple on the copper colored mountain. See, you can see the bastions, and Padmasambhava's seat is on top there. We are not allowed to photograph or videograph this place, so I won't be videographing the top. I've done it from the side. Thank you. So this is for my Tibetans. This is the Lotus Light Palace on Zangdok Pelri, Jaynagar pahari, copper colored mountain. See, it is a massive structure, the bastions, and it is a sight for sore eyes. Folks, this is Guru Padmasambhava's Lotus Light Palace. We are approaching the bastions of your Lotus Light Palace. And see this
That's definitely Buddhist. That's definitely Guru Rinpoche's. No doubt about it.
What did you say, sir?
No doubt about it. This is definitely Guru Rinpoche's. Look at this snow lion there. The head of the snow lion, right at the basin.
Yes.
Water outlet, channel.
Yes. This is another bastion.
And what have they done here?
Yeah, this is dancing bodhisattvas, I think. This came out from there.
Wow.
Dopenjo and all prayed to it.
Did you come up here?
Yes, but I didn't know at the time that it was Zangdok Pelri when
And,
Dopenjo had come.
and then why did you bring him here? For what?
Huh?
For what did you bring
I
him?
actually wanted to take him to Dhanari and Urain, but time was taken up here because they started praying. Okay, now folks, this is a aerial view of the ruins that were recently excavated on the Lali Pahari on your Zangdok Pelri, and this is a Thangka painting of the Lotus Light Palace on Zangdok Pelri. This is a Thangka painting of the Lotus Light Palace on Zangdok Pelri, and this is the ruins which have come out in the excavations on your Zangdok Pelri or Jaynagar pahari. Now see the similarities between both the pictures. You have this front square, the plinth of the building in the Thangka painting. You have this front square, and that square is seen up here. Okay? Now behind this square there is another square, this one. See, behind the first square is another square, this one. See, the plinth is the same. Behind this square is the second square. And then you have the whole, breadth of the building. So basically, and then now you have these circular bastions on all four corners, circular bastions. These circular bastions are showed here in blue. The Thangka painter has tried to show them as circular. See, it is in blue. And see the corners, it's this way. The thing juts out. It is the same thing up here when you see it from the ground. The corners are ditto. So you have the bastions up here, and you have these squares. And there is a black rock up here. That black rock is up here. When you go on the ruins, you will see it. And see, now it is 3 stories. The Thangka shows it as 3 stories on pillars. They have found 21 pillars here. So this is the central person. See, this section of the Thangka area is this section in the ruins. So this is a ditto exact copy of the Thangka painting, or the Thangka painting is an exact copy of this ruin on Lali Pahari or your Zangdok Pelri. which is our Jaynagar pahari. Now, why do we call it Lali? This is called this is called the Lotus Light Palace. Now, what is the Lotus Light? Now, what is the Lotus Light and what is Lali? This is Lali, this is the Lotus Light. Lotus is pink color. Now, when do you get the pink color light? The Lotus Light, the pink light. That is the morning light, the sunrise, the pinkish sunrise light. That is Lali. So, folks, that is Lali. Lali means the pinkish light in early morning. So, this is Lali, this is the Lotus Light. They mean the same thing. The Lotus Light is Lali. The Lotus Light is Lali. So, this is the Lotus Light Palace, folks. 100% we call it Lali Pahari. That means this is Lali Mahal. And folks, see things are ditto. The ground floor, Padmasambhava himself sat. On top of him, the first floor, Avalokiteshwar sat, and on top of the upper floor, Buddha Amitabh sat. So, folks, here that means your Padmasambhava sat here, Avalokiteshwar over there, and Buddha Amitabh higher. And you have 21 bases of pillars here, and these have all been broken. So, folks, this is your, no doubt, this is your Lotus Light Palace on Zangdok Pelri. Thank you. Now, sir, see, this is the Thanka painting of Zangdok Pelri, and this is the aerial view of the structure up here. Up here. This is the structure, the aerial view of this structure. The bastion is shown here. We are just now here. The bastion is shown here. This is the bastion, this one. And this piece jutting out. See this piece jutting out, sir.
Right.
Is that piece jutting out there? That piece jutting out, the sun is in front. Abo? See that piece? Upar. This piece jutting out is that piece jutting out. And this square is depicted that small thing jutting out. So that juts out. That is this one, and this one in this, and I mean this one in this. Where is my finger? Here. There. So, and now just see the brick structure. See this. The Thanka painting, upar karo aur. Thanka painting, it goes like this, and see the bricks. Similarly, the brick also goes up like that. The brick also goes, see the wall is there, the brick goes up like that, like how it is depicted in the Thanka painting. Do you see that? And sir,
and this is kind of, you see, all Bhutanese architecture
yes,
comes from Tibet. This is all depicted exactly in this form.
It's depicted exactly in this form.
I mean, it's done exactly in this form.
Yes,
In all the constructions in Bhutan.
yes,
And they have names,
yes,
for all these, for each one of these layers,
yes, yes.
which I can't remember now, but very important part of our whole facade. And
So watch out for snakes. And actually this is the hibernation period, so it's quite safe. It's regarded, but still it's better to be safe. So this is your an aerial
the
view
upper part, that's called Pema actually, Pema I think.
that which
Pema, which I showed you.
the upper part, the
upper part,
brick
Pema.
structure.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's very much from Guru Rinpoche, as we know, as we say.
Yes.
So this has to be from here.
So this is the
place,
Lotus Light
like
Palace. And so that bastion, is depicted here,
Now we are on
and
this side.
no, and it's depicted in this blue up here. It's depicted on the blue up here, but the painter couldn't take out that thing. Now see, there are 3 layers of stones.
Right.
They have the mud has filled out. There are 3 layers. And upar karo. In the Thanka also, see, you have the stones below there. See the stones below.
Right.
The stones below. So this is your Lotus Light Palace, definitely. Now the Lotus Light. What is the Lotus Light? We call it Lali Pahari. Sir, this is the Thanka of Lotus Light. It is the same as the aerial view of the ruins of Lali Pahari. Now what is Lali Pahari? What is Lotus Light? The lotus is pinkish yellow in color. And you get the lotus light, the pinkish yellow color in the morning, early sunrise.
Right.
That is what we call Lali.
Lali.
That means Lali is the lotus light.
Light.
So this is Lali Mahal. This is a Thanka of Lali Mahal, translated into English as the Lotus Light
Light.
Palace.
What more proof do we need?
Is it still in the Swat Valley, sir?
I think in dreams. Yes.
Okay, whatever it is. Would you like to go on top
Yeah.
and see
why
the
not?
place where Padmasambhava sat?
Yeah. Wow.
You are on the Lotus Light Palace now.
Yes, right up. I'm
See
feeling like one of.
that portion jutting out and thing. So, Padmasambhava was a very important person. See, you can see the plaster is still alive.
Right.
The plaster work of the Lotus Light Palace is still alive.
I mean,
It was an expensive construction. The plaster work of the Lotus Light Palace abo okra leke is still alive. See, there are all rooms around this central portion. Tani labo. Oi, feru khol do tani. There are rooms around this central portion. So now look at this. These are base for the pillars. These are base for the pillars. Now let's see the Thanka paintings, sir. Thanka painting, this is a 3-story structure on top of pillars. On top of pillars. So this is a 3-story structure.
right.
The Lotus Light Palace is being depicted on top of pillars. Now there are 21 pillar bases. So this section is this section.
Right.
And that's in the middle there, Padmasambhava sits. On top of him, Avalokiteshwar, and on top of him, Buddha Amitabh. So this is a spot. See, you can see the pillar bases all along. The pillar bases all along. And this is the middle section where your Padmasambhava would sit. And there is a lotus right there. The lotus is there. You can see the pillar bases, sir. The pillar bases are all around. And see those steps going up to the bastion. This was those steps going up to the bastion. This was a royal structure, sir.
It was a royal structure. It is still a royal structure. Definitely a very royal structure. And there are many things that are still hidden that should be uncovered.
Oh, there are caves around, sir.
And thanks to the government of Bihar for their
No, thanks to Pappu Babu. He searched it out. We have identified it as the Lotus Light Palace, but he is the one who saw the ruins and took the efforts to excavate it. The beauty about Buddhist scriptures is they have written who stayed in which room, sir. And the rooms are here. So you can read the scriptures and pinpoint who slept on this bed. Who slept on this bed? This is a bed. And see, sir, the red corners. And now this piece of this has been depicted in the Thangka painting, sir. This rock, this.
This is definitely the upper part of the house that has fallen down.
This has been depicted in the Thangka paintings. Sir,
So she was
you are still in
Zangdok Pelri.
the Lotus Light Palace in Zangdok Pelri. So this is most probably the dungeon where Mandarva was incarcerated. If Padmasambhava was incarcerated there, Mandarva was incarcerated here. And that's why this area is open, because this was a place of worship, it seems. And see this chamber here. This chamber here, below that chamber is another chamber. And I have been, children used to play, they would go inside.
Okay.
Me and my brother Abhay and his wife, we all went inside. There is a room below this room.
Oh God.
And then there is a window this side. There is a room below this. This is also a chamber. They have taken off the roof to steal, the thieves. To steal, statues, etc., artifacts. And below it is the room where Mandarva was. You have 3 steps going down. See, this is the roof of the steps. This is the roof of the steps going down, and below that you have that room with another room. That side there is only a window connection, and that is most probably the King of Zahor would have incarcerated Mandarva within a palace itself.
Right. To separate her from.
Yes, and this is where she must have continued chatting with, what do you call it? Padmasambhava.
Across the mountain.
She must have continued chatting, and Padmasambhava was incarcerated there.
Right.
So she refused to stop chatting with Padmasambhava. So the king finally dragged him down and burned him in Kyul, where you saw that stupa over there, surrounded by a moat of sesame oil.
I wish it was clearer.
No, it was clear. It was clean.
I mean now, as I'm here.
Dr. Sandhu Chetri is videographing the chaos around his holy shrine.
Wow. I wish.
Sir, now I will tell you one thing.
Right.
The way out is to contact all the Vidwans of Bhutan and tell them to move towards the king.
Right.
And the king will contact Nitish Kumar. And when Nitish Kumar understands what this is, he will come into this story with full force.
Right.
Bihar government will do a terrific job.
Right.
But Nitish Kumar must know about this, and this can be done through higher levels.
Right.
Ordinary mortals like me, it's impossible to reach Nitish Kumar.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Dr. Sandhu Chetri is going to videograph this bed. The edges are still, you see, the paint is clear.
Paint is clear.
Padmasambhava was no more ordinary mortal. The paint is clear.
This is a room of one of the occupants during that time. And obviously it has to be a monk because the bed look at this. Wow. Can't believe it.
Sandhu Chetri is taking a close-up of the snow lion, or the statue of a snow lion in Zangdok Pelri on the Lotus Light Palace. Dr. Sandhu Chetri is taking a close-up of the statue of the snow lion. Now that you have seen the video of the dungeon where Mandarva was incarcerated, check out the video of the dungeon where Padmasambhava was incarcerated. Now we are going up Kali Pahari to search for the dungeon where Padmasambhava was incarcerated. See, that is Lali Pahari there. That is Lali Pahari there. And we are climbing Kali Pahari in search for the spot where Padmasambhava was incarcerated. Okay, folks, now I am on top of Kali Pahari up here, and I am searching for the spot where Padmasambhava was incarcerated by the King of Zahors. See, Sahur is over there. Sahur is over there, Sahur. So the King of Sahur incarcerated Padmasambhava. The local folklore is there was a dungeon here. See, it has been filled up by rubble. It has been filled up by rubble, the dungeon. So the folklore is there was a dungeon here, and Padmasambhava, not Padmasambhava, a very strong, important person who had got entangled with the King of Zahors daughter, which I think is the Padmasambhava and Mandarva story. So he was incarcerated here, and people say because of this, the curse for incarcerating such a important person, the Islamic invasion took place after that. So basically, after 200 years or 150 years after Padmasambhava left Bihar, Bakhtiyar Khilji invaded. So folks, this is most probably your place where Padmasambhava or Mandarva were incarcerated. You can see it has been filled up with rubble. It has been filled up with small rocks. So, folks, that is that. Thank you. I've had to risk climbing this rock side, and it's dangerous. Anyway, thank you. Now that you have seen both the hillocks, which is your Zangdok Pelri, the copper-colored mountain and the black mountain. So Mandarva was incarcerated here on the Lotus Light Palace. She refused to stop interacting with Padmasambhava, who was incarcerated here, and she refused to come out of the dungeon too. So her father, the king, was very angry. He decided to kill Padmasambhava. He dragged Padmasambhava out and he took him to a place where he tried to burn him. This is Sansar Pokhar. Sansar Pokhar. This lake is Sansar Pokhar. See, here is your Lali Pahari or your Lotus Light Palace. Lali is the Lotus Light, and this is Sansar Pokhar, from where a lake was formed, and Padmasambhava got freed from samsara. And basically they saw Padmasambhava sitting on a lotus. It is here. I will do a close-up. See here. This is Sansar Pokhar, and this is a stupa, and this is you can see the stupa in the middle up here. The stupa is in the middle here, and there is a moat around it. According to Tibetan legend, this moat was filled with til oil. This moat was filled with sesame oil, and this oil overflowed and created this lake, which freed Padmasambhava from samsara. So basically, and the unique thing about this lake is all the holy things. Even today, see, there are quite a few lakes up here. But all the holy activities, all the prayers are done on the bank, in this lake. In fact, they put all the dispose all the statues of gods and goddesses in this lake, Sansar Pokhar. So now I realize that how it got its name. It got its name from the Tibetan mythology. So it means in the ancient times this place was teeming with Tibetans, and here is the stupa on which the lotus, Padmasambhava and Mandarva were seen sitting on a lotus, and with a moat around filled with sesame oil. And this oil overflowed and created this lake. Now this area is called Kyul. Kyul, and there is a Tibetan word for this Kyul, Khalding Sal. So Kyu is Kyul, Sal is Sansar Pokhar, and Khalding is another pond here. So basically, three Khalding is Ashtghati pond. So these are all the Q Khalding Sal is a mispronunciation of these three ponds names. So folks, check out the videos. I am concluding my video up here. See, I call this Padmasambhava territory. Padmasambhava territory. And basically, you have all the spots. You have Urain, Urgain, Lake Dhanakosha, Mano, the Palace of Mandarva, Sahur, and your Pahari, which is the Lotus Light Palace, and your Sansar Pokhar, where he got freedom from samsara. This is Padmasambhavas territory, folks. Enjoy the videos. I hope you all liked my video, and you all appreciated it. It is exactly it is a scientific study. I have read all Ritva Wiki has to say about this episode. The Tibetans seem a bit, confused. With Mandarva, he then returned to Odiyana, but was recognized and burned on a sandalwood fire. After some time, they were found seated on a lotus in a lake of sesame oil, wearing a garland of skulls as a symbol of their liberating all beings from samsara through compassion. So samsara was that Sansar Pokhar which I showed you in the satellite picture, and seated on a lotus in a lake surrounded by sesame oil was that that stupa I showed you that had a moat around it, was seated on a lotus in a lake of sesame oil. That is the moat of I showed you, and samsara is that Sansar Pokhar which I showed you. Check out the videos. Now Dr. Sadhu Chetri is going towards the stupa. Just continue, sir. Continue.
Sorry?
Continue till the end. He is going towards the stupa where Padmasambhava, they tried to burn Padmasambhava, and he was seen sitting on a lotus leaf. On a lotus flower, he and Mandarva. This is in Kyul. Abo. Sir has Dr. Lama Samdu Chetri has reached the spot. Pagadne dao. According to Tibetan texts, they burned Padmasambhava, and he was seen sitting on a lotus flower surrounded by a moat of sesame oil. So this is your moat, and that is the stupa. There. It is covered with greenery, and there's no people defecate on that. That is a very holy Tibetan spot, and it must be cleared up. The Tibetans must come and take custody of that. They were planning to make a university here, which I have told them, no, this is your bread and butter. And what do you call it? कौन चीज बना बोले चाहल के सरकार?
सम्राट भवन.
Samrat Bhavan, not a university. And this is the most, and most probably, like it's impractical. I'm not a Buddhist.
You are.
Supposing I'm a Hindu, it's impractical sitting on a lotus flower. So most probably that lotus flower was a stone flower, a sort of a throne. So that stone flower may still be in there, in that stupa, and it was covered up. So if they excavate that thing, that stupa, that stone flower on which Padmasambhava himself was sitting will be found. And it is from here that the oil overflowed and created Sansar poker, from which Padmasambhava was freed from samsara. Now, Tibetans, they have taken the word Q. This is Q. Q. Khalding is Asghati. Ghati is Khalding. That's another lake of Padmasambhava. And Sal is Q Khalding Sal. Sal is what do you call it? Sansar poker, which you just saw. And they have taken these words and created another meaning. A child who flew out like a mighty youth who flew out like a vulture, but it's actually the name of the three lakes. Youth, Ghati, Khalding, Sal, Sansar poker. So what do you think, sir? Please tell the Tibetan world, the Buddhist world, the Nyingma world.
Yes, definitely. I think you will find both or all sects of Buddhism that we today practice in Himalayas in this area completely. And what Buddha said, there are three things that cannot be hidden for long: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The truth has unraveled itself, and now it's high time that all my Buddhist believers come here, understand themselves, try to decode all that is written in the history. It is right here, right now. We can witness it. Thank you.
See, I would like to tell Tibetans, you all have put Padmasambhava Lake, Dhanakosha in the Swat Valley, and then in Odisha or some other place. Now, this is a very important thing. In ancient times, India was mostly jungles. The jungles were filled with robbers, with highwaymen. And it wasn't conducive for Tibetans to be roaming around from Swat Valley to Bihar and Bodh Gaya, etc. Because just to come to this place, 10 Tibetans would leave Tibet and only one Tibetan would go back alive. The hot summers would kill them. The monsoon is the season where you get all the diseases. And what do you call it? Tibetans, how could they acclimatize themselves up here?
In a short time.
And with 10 would leave Tibet on a pilgrimage, and 9 would go back. Only one would come back alive. So you can't have all your holy spots all over India. They are all bunched in one area, and the Tibetans knew the route to that area. This is Lakhisarai District. You have the Nyingma section, and you have the Kagyu and the, what do you call it, other sects.
Including, I think, even Gelugpa sects.
Gelugpa sects, all the other sects. So, folks, thank you very much, sir. Thank you for coming.
And honor it.
Okay, now folks, Dr. Sandhu Chetri is here, And this is Sansar Pokhar up here. तरी पोखरिया दिखाई दो बढ़िया से लंबाई चौड़ाई सब. This is Sansar Pokhar. It's an important and now the history of this according to Tibetan. Now Tibetans, sir, Sansar, the word Sansar, does it sound similar to a Tibetan word?
Yes.
Which word? Loudly, sir, so that the voice is picked up.
Samsara.
This is Sansar Pokhar, where the Tibetans call samsara. This is the spot. This is the lake. Just nearby is a stupa, in which the local folklore is that people saw a king and queen would come and sit on a lotus flower. And one day the flower shook and the king and queen stopped coming. That's the folklore. And that stupa is surrounded by a moat. Now according to Tibetans, that moat was filled with sesame oil. And sesame oil and that sesame oil overflowed and produced a lake which freed Padmasambhava from what, sir? From samsara. So folks, this is your Sansar Lake. Now this is in Lakhisarai town. We have got 51 lakes. But all the holy, what do you call it, prayers, all the holy prayers, Lakhisarai, जो भी विसर्जन होता है, all the, what do you call it, statues and all, when they, what do you call it, finish praying, they put the statues in this lake. This is the holiest lake, and I used to wonder, out of the 54 lakes, why was Sansar Pokhar the holiest? Why was Sansar Pokhar the holiest? Folks, the Tibetan story, Padmasambhava was freed from samsara. And I will be taking to Dr. Sandhu Chetri to that stupa. It is just around 300 feet from here. And my videographer, Amit, his house is here and his ancestors were the monks, most probably up here. So folks, this is your Sansar Pokhar, where Padmasambhava was released from samsara.
It's huge, huge.
And 3 years ago it was cleaned. It was a beautiful lake. I have that video with me, but just now it's water hyacinth. Tibetans, you must overtake this. You must take this over, get it cleaned up. This is your Lake Revulsor. What do you think about Lake Revulsors?
So there's no connection. I mean, I don't know who found that space. Given the fact from the book that you've been referring and trying to locate spaces, gives a very clear indication that Padmasambhava was from this land, was born here. All the events that has taken place, all the important events have happened here. There's no doubt about it.
So that your 125-foot statue in Lake Revulsor, Tibetan, my friends, that statue should be in Lake Sansar. Thank you very much. Folks, this is Sansar Pokhar and this is Mr. Mehrotra, my first Buddhist of the Nyingma sect who has come to see this place. This is Sansar Pokhar, where they tried to burn Padmasambhava and a lake was formed and he was released from birth and death from samsara. This is Sansar Pokhar. It got its name from this story. And it's just below Zangdok Pelri, or the copper-colored mountain, on which is the Lotus Light Palace. So folks, this is it, and officially the first Nyingma sect Buddhist to come here and photograph this place, folks. Thank you. So this is Sansar Pokhar, where Padmasambhava was released from samsara, where the miracle took place and he was released from samsara. And the King of Zahors was surprised, and he gave him his entire property, his kingdom and his clothes, and he allowed Padmasambhava and Mandarva to live together. So see here, this is Jora Mandir. Jora means couple mandir. So this is where they were allowed to live as a couple together. It is just next to your Lotus Light Palace, the Lali Pahari and the Black Mountain where Padmasambhava was incarcerated. Jora Mandir, that is the couple's temple. So this is where they were allowed to live as a couple, and I found two engravings of Padmasambhava, two of his manifestations. One was Nyingma Ozer and the other was of Padmasambhava as the bright light. So basically, and then the King of Zahors requested Padmasambhava to come to his palace in Sahur. So half naked, he dragged Padmasambhava. According to Tibetan mythology, he dragged Padmasambhava on a horse cart and he pulled the horse cart himself. So Padmasambhava was sitting on the horse cart and he pulled the horse cart himself all the way to the country of Sahur. Folks, all the way to the country of Sahur, up here Sahur or your Zahor or whatever, it is actually Sahur. And the palace is in Rampur. The palace of the King of Zahors was in Rampur, where Padmasambhava's old, the first, his first temple was opened and people started praying to him. This is just next to Manu, which is Mandarva's palace. And this is the Govind Baba temple. Govind is Golbind. Gol means curved, circular. That is the rainbow body. The rainbow is curved or circular. So Golbind, Govind Baba temple. So folks, the temple is here. It is officially Padmasambhava's first temple. Check out the video. See this. Who is this? Recognize?
This is Padmasambhava, no doubt about it.
This is?
This is Padmasambhava, there's no doubt about it. Standing on the lotus.
This is, you know what roop? What manifestation? Nyingma Ozer. And you know what, sir? Ojua Pokhar is just nearby.
Yes.
This is also 5 petals. The face is sort of big. See, you have the big eyes. You have 8 minutes. That's right. You have the big eyes, the mustache, and the 5 petal crown. The name is written down here. This is Nyingma Ozer. And this is, sir, this is what? This is Padmasambhava, no doubt.
Yes.
The big eyes.
Yes. Mustache,
This is the big eyes, the mustache, the 5 petal crown, and the thing. And this is the, so what is this in the hand? This is the cap. This is the Vajra. And
Yes.
the earrings tally with the Thangka paintings. Here you have the 3 skulls. and the Trishul also tallies with the Thanga paintings, and what do you call it, sir? Sir, these are the sun rays.
Sun rays, yeah, definitely.
These are the sun rays. This is Jakraj. This is Jakraj. This is your rays of sun. Padmasambhava.
Right.
Baba Sobhanath. Sambhava is Sobhanath. This is also Padmasambhava, and this is only 3 petals. This will be most probably, if this is a couple temple, this will be Mandarva.
I think this is Mandarva.
Yes. But this one has a child on the lap. Child on the lap. But she also has 5 petals, sir. 5 petals in her cap.
So, manifestation.
Yes, manifestation. So this is Jora Mandir. Jora means couple. After they were burnt in what do you call it? After they were burnt in fuel and they came out alive, they were allowed to live as a couple. So this is Jora Mandir, couple Mandir. So this is again Padmasambhava with his 5 petals, big eyes, mustache, and what manifestation my brother can try to discern.
This could all be from.
This was all, unearthed, plowing the fields and all. The entire archaeology department has got its eyes on these statues. Sir, I hope you are pleased with what you see.
Oh my good heavens. That too.
Now you have come officially to Govind Baba Padmasambhava's first temple or monastery or whatever it is.
One of the manifestations.
And it's one of his manifestations. And it's see now Hindus, we have the thing of beautifying all our temples.
Yes.
So you won't find the old ones.
Right.
Now you can make it out. It's on a stupa, sir.
Built on a stupa, and it was
Yes,
created
sir.
in 1985 here. This reminds me.
Pranam, Sarkar. Sir, विदेशी लोग के लाई सके हिए जी ले आबै गोविंद बाबा के असल यही न हथिन आई जगशाला अच्छा दिस इज फॉर हवन हुवन हाँ आ रहे Sir, you are welcome to Govind Baba's temple.
Thank you.
प्रणाम जी हम कृष्णेंद्र बाबू के भतीजा बोलिए अर्जुन बाबू के लड़का अपने के घरों गेल छी नीचे में है ई भूटान के प्रधानमंत्री के भूतपूर्व मतलब बाएं हाथ हलकिन अभी आईआईटी खड़गपुर में प्रोफेसर रहते हाँ जी गोविंद बाबा का दर्शन करने के लिए आए हुए So welcome to Govind Baba's temple. Now you have what do you call it Hindu prayers up here, and Govind Baba स्थान किने है गोविंद बाबा के स्थान किने है हाँ This is Govind Baba's Sthan. No statues, no nothing. पिंडी ना हो भाई चाहिए पिंडी नहीं है ओलीपुर सब में ब्रह्मदेव बाबा के ब्रह्मदेवती माई के पिंडी है जगराज बाबा के
जो है सो यही ब्रह्मदेव जी करें अपना गांव में ओलीपुर में
जी ब्रह्मदेवती स्थान फिर रामचंद्रपुर के जगराज स्थान हाँ
पहले मिट्टी के थे
पहले
मिट्टी के थे अपने स्वतः गिर गए
जी
तो वही मिट्टी उस तर में
जी
प्लेट जो है ना
जी
उसी तर में दे दिए और ऊपर से स्लेब
अच्छा मिट्टी भीतर में है
वही हम रख यहाँ भी है
जी
मिट्टी थे ना
हाँ।
उसी समय जब गिरे ना उस समय लेकर के इसमें रख दे मतलब मिट्टी का है मट्टी में
हाँ।
और उसके बाद ये ऊपर से पत्थर दे दिया गया उसके बाद उनका नाम लिख दिया गया
जी
So he's hidden behind.
No, that is how you pray.
Oh, okay.
That is how you pray. It is not hidden behind. That is how you pray.
All right.
See,
So,
no.
I mean, there is
See,
no.
no. We have the system of pindis. They are small stupas,
Yes, I know.
and they have this. Like you have one temple. What do you call it? Maharani Sthan. You will have small pindis made out of Ganges mud, clay, and they also have this. ये चांदी के बने
अपने बनवाया चांदी वाला बनवाया
हाँ
इधर बनाया 1981 में
और इस
गोविंद बाबा की कोई कहानी
हमारे कुलदेव थे
हाँ
पुरखा कहिए हम लोग का पुरखा थे
जी
रामपुर के पुरखा थे
जी
और
उनका भी बाबू थे हम वैसे
जी अपने के पंडित जी हो लिए
नहीं भैया तो अपने जी नहीं
वंशज हैं
गोतिया हैं
गोतिया है
आप हमरा गोतिया
पंडित जी के हल्के
पंडित जी हैं
जी
आप हमरा गोतिया
पुजारी हैं ये
नहीं
पंडित जी हैं वो
भक्ता यही है जी
यहाँ नामे पूजा होता है भक्ति
भक्ता आपने ही है
है नहीं लेकिन लोग
नहीं
है नहीं लोग कहते हैं
अच्छा भक्ता आपने ही है लेकिन भक्ता शब्द है भक्ता ही इज द भक्ता सर आप पंडित जी हुए ही इज द ब्राह्मण priest and he is my caste And actually, असल में ये मंदिर इनखड़े है. Actually the temple belongs to the Bhakta. इधर देखिए.
Start praying to Padmasambhava up here. Both he and Mandarva go to Bichwe. See, Bichwe is, I think, a Tibetan mispronunciation of Halesha. They call it Halesha, this hillock up here. This hillock up here, this is Bichwe, and the place next to it is Sringarpur. See, Padmasambhava then got a name, the Lion's Roar. The Lion's Roar. Shakya Singhe, the Lion's Roar. So that is Sringarpur. Singh is lion, Gar means the roar. Sringarpur. So Bichwe is Halesha. So they come here. Let's do a close-up of this hillock. They come here, and in a cave up here, they practice 3 months of longevity. Now the Tibetans say they went to Nepal and all. See, they made Padmasambhava fly from Revulsar to that cave in Nepal. No, the whole story is in this area. So the cave is here, and I found polished lotus rock where Padmasambhava must have said. You see, he was the lotus born. So this is what do you call it? Your Bichwe is your Halesha, and the cave is here. Check up the video of this hillock, folks, and the cave and the rock. Okay, now folks, dikhao. This is for my Tibetan friends and my Bhutanese friends. This is Dopenjo, this is for you. That is the village of Sahur, your Zahor. That is the village of Sahur.
इधर से
अभी पे दिखा रहा. See that hillock over there? That was Sahur. That hillock, I suspect, is Mount Halesha. Mount Halesha, where Guru Rinpoche took the queen of Sahur, Zahor, and for 3 months they stayed in that cave. He stayed with Princess Mandarva in that cave in Bichwe Pahari, which you call Halesha, Mount Halesha, and practiced longevity. Now, see these hills up here. See these hills up here. These hills. These are the Aravali range. Now, it is because of these hills, I think the Tibetan people mistake that these villages were in Kashmir. See, because of these hills, it's written in the ancient texts of Tibet. These villages are in the base of hills. That is why people have mistaken it to be in the Swat Valley. That is why people have mistaken Sahur, Odiyana, Dhanakosha, and Halesha. Now, if he marries a woman from Sahur, if Guru Rinpoche marries a woman from Sahur, why should he take her to a cave in Nepal when a cave is existent up here? Dikhabo. On this hillock, which is Bichwe Pahari, which I think your ancient name is Mount Halesha. So folks, the entire story of Guru Rinpoche took place in this area. Odiyana, Urain village, Dhanakosha, Lake Dhanakosha is in Lake Dhanari. Zahor is a Tibetan mispronunciation of Sahur, and that is Mount Halesha, where the two spent 3 months in a cave. The cave is there. It is a huge cave, 40 feet by 40 feet, folks. Thank you very much. Now, folks, we are halfway up. Your caves are over there. The windows are over there. The cave windows are over there. Now look at this. See, this is polished rock for meditation. This is polished rock for meditation. And now see this. See, this is a lotus flower on this polished rock. Now Padmasambhava was the lotus born. I have seen a lot of places where rock has been polished for Buddhist meditation, but nowhere did I see a lotus flower. And Nazik se. Now look at this flower pot. The villagers who did not understand what this lotus meant, they added a flower pot up here. So this it is vandalizing this beautiful lotus sculpture up here. So this is, I suspect, where Padmasambhava sat. And this is where Padmasambhava sat, and this is where Mandarva will have sat. This is, see, they have put all dung cakes here. This is where Mandarva will have sat, and look at that. That is where the lotus born sat. That means Padmasambhava or Guru Rinpoche. So basically, according to Tibetan texts, the two practice longevity here for 3 months. So folks, this is your, you can see there are more meditation spots. There are more meditation spots. See, this is for to sit and meditate. So according to the Tibetan scriptures, what do you call it? Padmasambhava and Mandarva meditated here for 3 months. So folks, I think this is the spot where they used to sit for meditation. ठीक है. Okay, folks, now this is for Tibetans. According to your Buddhist text, Padmasambhava and Mandarva spent 3 months in a cave in a hillock. Spent 3 months and practiced longevity, after which they got rainbow body. So folks, look at that. That is the window of the cave. That is the window. Dekh raha hai. That is the window of the cave. I will show you the video of the cave. I entered inside and I videographed it. So basically it is a chaitya. It is a chaitya. And it is double storied. You can see it's perfectly carved. You can see that the window is perfectly carved. It's in a curve. So folks, this is where I suspect Padmasambhava and Mandarva. This is in Sahur, your Sahur, which we call Sahur up here. So this is in Sahur, which you all call Sahur, and that is the cave. Thank you.
दीवार से खोले ना सारे क्लास
ना चलिए हम ऐसे ना उतारेंगे
बगले में ऊपर पड़ जाएगा
एकदम प्लेन जगह पर आप स्थिर से चलिएगा जैसा जगह चले है उधर नहीं आप अगर बोलते ना तो हम ऐसे लेके नहीं बोल कर
पूरा दीवार में लगा के लेना
खल्ली से लिखल है, खल्ली से लिखा हुआ है। वो तो सुरंग है ना, उधर 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 इस साइड। नहीं नहीं, इस साइड। हाँ 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 हाँ, इधर इधर भी सुरंग है, भरा हुआ है मिट्टी से। हाँ, आराम से आ रहे हैं, आ रहे हैं हम। आप आएंगे? आप नहीं आ पाएंगे।
दीवार है,
कटिंग किया हुआ है।
हाँ, आई मट्टी भरल है।
हाँ, नीचे से मट्टी भरा हुआ है।
हाँ,
अब हम छत का ले रहे हैं।
हाँ, ये ना सुरंग है कि
जी,
किने?
हमारा आते समय में लेफ्ट पड़ रहा है वो सुरंग।
It was in this cave up here, on this hillock in Bichway, that what you call it, they attained the rainbow body. That is Gobind Baba. He is prayed to as Gobind Baba. Rainbow body. Rainbow is circular, and Gobind is circular. So this is Gobind Baba, and what you call it, they attained the rainbow body. And then Padmasambhava had that desire to see his own country, which was Urgain or Urain or Odiyana, whatever you may mispronounce it. So he and Mandarva decide to visit Urgain. So they go to Urain up here, and they go what you call it, disguised as beggars, but they are what you call it, people recognize them, and they are caught, and once more there is an attempt to burn Padmasambhava up here. See, Urain is there. They attempt to burn Padmasambhava here. This is Jalappa Sthan. Now, Jalappa Sthan, according to Tibetan folklore, this is an important Hindu temple. Jalappa Sthan, according to folklore, is that what do you call it? When they burnt Padmasambhava and Mandarva, the water suddenly came out. Water suddenly came out. See, this is a hillock. Just next to the hillock is the temple with what do you call it? Your Padmasambhava's statue in it. There is a statue of Padmasambhava killing a child. And what do you call it? See, there is a sort of gorge up here, and water passes through this. And Tibetan, what do you call it? Folklore says water suddenly came and put out the flames. So Jalappa means exactly that. Jal means water, Appa means Jalappa. Lappa means the flames of a fire. So Jalappa means the water and flames of a fire. This is where the water put off the flames of a fire. So what do you call it? And here's the gorge where the water, the hillside seems to have split, and what do you call it? The water came out. That is according to Tibetan mythology. But this was a small, very thin gorge, the Bihar government recently has broadened it and made it into a canal. So folks, this is Jalappa Sthan, where the people of Urgain or Urain or Odiyana tried to burn the Padmasambhava, but water came and put off the fire. Check out the video.
पहले वो देख रही हूँ पानी के हाँ भाई नीचे बैठ के लो लेवल से जहाँ तक दूर पानी की तक है एकदम दूर दिख रहा है ओके अब हमारा सबके लोग नाउ सर you just saw the statue of Ma Jalappa. Ma Jalappa in Jalappa Sthan. Jalappa means Jal, Aag ka Lapka. When Padmasambhava, according to Tibetan text, when Padmasambhava, after doing 3 months of longevity, he and Mandarva were going to Urgain to see his own country. They were but he had run away there from there, and he had murdered over there. So he went disguised. He and Mandarva went disguised as beggars. They were recognized and dragged. That is the spot. I hope. What is it called? That is the temple which you will just see. You will see Ma Jalappa. I do not know why there is a Trishul and she killing a child. But the Tibetan texts say, while the fire was burning, the hill split and water flowed out and doused the flames. So you can see the hill has split. There is a gorge going through the hill and the water came out. Pani dekhao. The hill has split, the water came out and doused the flame. And Mandarva and Padmasambhava came out unscathed. So that is that. Let's go and see Ma Jalappa's, statue. And the other small statues, some of the Buddha, some of Padmasambhava, whoever they are.
Thank you.
Welcome to Jalappa Sthan, sir.
Thank you.
Jalappa Sthan means Jal, Appa. Jal means water and Lappa means the fires, the flicking flames. So water doused the flicking flames, Jalappa. Okay, people don't understand the meaning, they just know the name. Now this is what we have thing. This is the place when Padmasambhava went to, after he got longevity, 3 months of longevity, he and Mandarva went to Urain and disguised as beggars because he wanted to see his own country. He was the king of Urain. So they were recognized and he was captured and burnt on a pyre. Now whether he was burnt or Mandarva was burnt, we are not sure, by his wife. He had a wife, Padmasambhava. So up here they say Ma Jalappa, aag se nikli. Ma Jalappa, aag se nikli. That's one of our manifestations.
Right.
Jal Lappa, the water that ate up the fire.
Right.
And what do you call it? Sir, this is clean. Either it's a Padmasambhava statue or a Buddha statue.
There seems to be also a statue
Of a woman.
Of a woman,
Yes,
but that's engraved.
that is engraved. Please come, sir. So welcome to Baba Kokil Chand Sthan Ramsir. There. Please come in. इनका ले जाए जाओ ना भीतर. His 8 manifestations. Sir, one second. You see, all the hats have got 5 petals.
Yes.
That
This is 100% Guru Rinpoche.
Guru Rinpoche, Chatia Baba.
Chatya Baba, Gobind Baba.
गोविंद बाबा था ये प्रेम भाग है बेटा
किने?
गोविंद था तो वहाँ नहीं कहीं ये दे नहीं दियो रहा
इधर रहे थी मतलब?
वो सब दूसरा भाषा में यही सब बुद्ध भगवान का मानते हैं इसका बुद्ध
नहीं ये गोविंद बाबा थे उनखरे खोजे ले लिए आयल थे उनखर 8 रूप हले यही है ये So this is a votive stupa, I think. They call it a votive stupa with 8 manifestations of Padmasambhava. See,
I think
all,
Muslims also chop this.
all of them.
All the nose are chopped.
No, that is not only, you don't blame the Muslims. It could be the, what do you call it? Brahmins.
Germans are there.
Dr. Samdu Chetri is videographing it. Generally, he photographs things, but this one he is videographing it. See, 2 manifestations on this side, a bit defaced, but all of them have the 5 petal cap. 5 petal cap. ये लगा नया बन रही ना. All of them have the 5 petaled cap hat of Padmasambhava. The only difference is Tibetan Thangka paintings and statues. Padmasambhava is well dressed because Tibet is a very cold place. Up here he is bare-bodied because Bihar is very hot. This is another side. See the 5 petals of his crown and his sitting posture and his mudra. And this is another one.
Capture.
Capture. Capture. Capture.
So this is his 8 manifestations. What do you call it? Padmasambhavas, 8 manifestations in Ramsir village. And sir, how do you like the statues?
I am mesmerized. I'm totally breathless. I don't know what to say. But I have a question for them. Where did they get this from?
ये कहाँ मिला आप लोग को?
यहीं से शुरू से यहीं
It is from here, from the beginning.
यहीं पर था.
जीवन में यहीं से कब तक से हकी आप
पूरे यहीं थे
हकी हुए।
यहीं थोड़ा नीचे थे उसके बाद इसको बनाया गया
हाँ.
So they found it right here.
No, it was, they have been praying to it for centuries.
Yes, they've been praying to it for centuries, but the statue as such was here itself. That's what. they're
Yes.
saying.
And this is Ramsir.
This is Ramsir.
That was Rampur. Ramsir. After they tried to burn in Jalapasthan and water came and doused the flames.
And then formed into the lake, you mean?
No, Jalapasthan is Padmasambhava and Mandarva went to their own country. After they did the 3 months of longevity and all.
Yes.
And they went disguised as beggars because Padmasambhava was a runaway from that country. He had murdered. So they went disguised and they were recognized. And they were burnt. And just, कितना दूर है Jalapasthan? 1 kilometer away is Jalapasthan, where you saw that statue of a child and Padmasambhava with a Trishul. हाँ. So that at which you asked ki whether he had breasts or what do you call it? The statue had breasts or a thing in Facebook. So this is Ramsir. Ramsir means Sir is head. Ramsir means someone bowed his head down.
Right.
In thing. So Jalapasthan will be the spot where the incident took place.
All right. Great.
This is the sanghramma.
This is a sanghramma.
That is the praying spot.
Right.
This is where the monks
Stayed.
stayed.
Unbelievable.
So how do you like the research?
I mean, this is unthinkable. You know, I really wonder. We know that sometimes things wait for too long to find the right hands, right person, and I very strongly believe that has been you. Maybe you already had that.
And my brother.
And your brother Ajay. I think you had that premonition, you know, already quite a while ago, but it didn't really strike you hard enough to go for it until now.
Yes.
So I really request that you continue this research and give to the Buddhist world their true place of Guru's birth. This is very, very important.
Sir, no. I have a thing. Jesus Christ. What do you call it? He said, sang a song, I will make you fishers of men, to his disciples. You all are fishers of men. You will be fishing my followers. You will spread my word. Sir, research we have done, but fishing the Buddhist men is not my cup of cake. You are there.
But that is the beginning. Once you have given those completely, we will try and take it forward.
Thank you very much, sir, for coming. And
I'm blessed. I'm really blessed.
Thank you. I am concluding my video up here. See, I call this Padmasambhava territory. Padmasambhava territory. And basically, you have all the spots. You have Urain, Urgain, Lake Dhanakosha, Mano, the Palace of Mandarva, Sahur, and your Lali Pahari, which is the Lotus Light Palace, and your Sansar Pokhar, where he got freedom from samsara. This is Padmasambhava territory, folks. Enjoy the videos. Okay, now folks, see that side behind the bridge across the river is your Zangdok Pelri. And before us is what you call it, Bichwai Pahari, where Guru Rinpoche and Mandarva practiced 3 months of longevity. And that is Zangdok Pelri, Jaynagar Pahari, which you just saw. And folks, this is Sangam Banquet and Hotel. A lot of Tibetans requested me to, what do you call it, open a travel agency up here, so that they could visit the holy spots. So in the basement of this hotel is Guru Rinpoche Tours and Travels. And you stay in this hotel, this hotel will take you to Lake Dhanakosha, to Odiyana or Urgain, or what do you call it, and your Zangdok Pelri and your Sansar Pokhar, where Guru Rinpoche was released from samsara, and many other places. So folks, this is V Bazaar, and the hotel is Sangam Banquet and Hotel, and in the basement is the travel agency. So you can, if you want to visit your holy spots, Guru Rinpoche, with life in India before he went to Tibet, is in Lakhisarai in Bihar. You saw Zangdok Pelri, you will see Lake Dhanakosha and Urgain and all these other places. So folks, that's the travel agency. And behind this, just 1.5 kilometers behind this hotel, is the place where Guru Rinpoche flew out of the Ganges like a vulture, like a child, like a mighty vulture. So you come here, you can visit all these spots. They are close by. Dr. Samdu Chetri, Lama Samdu Chetri has accepted everything. He says the story makes sense here. The entire Guru Rinpoche story makes sense here. So folks, in the basement is Guru Rinpoche Tours and Travels, and folks, Lakhisarai is waiting. For further queries, you can contact Padmasambhava Tours and Travels, below Sangam Banquet Hall and Hotel, below V Bazaar, Purani Bazaar, Lakhisarai, Bihar. Contact. This is the mobile number. This is my mobile, 700481430. So my contact number is 700481430. It will be the official contact number of Padmasambhava Tour and Travels. Basically, I will be the guide because no one in my town knows this story. So I will have to personally take people around. So this is it. Padmasambhava Tours and Travels. I have opened it. And this is the mobile number and this is the address. Below Sangam Banquet Hall and Hotel, B Bazaar, Purani Bazaar, Lakhisarai, Bihar, 700481430.